Hey, what is going on, guys? Joe here, 690ADB, 690ADB.com, Radio 690ADB. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for being part of it. Today's podcast episode, we're going to dig into Honda. We're going to talk about some Honda today. Don't forget, subscribe, be part of it. Make sure that you subscribe not only to our podcast so that you can get our updates and when something new comes out. Also for our YouTube, youtube.com/690ADB. And make sure you subscribe to both of those so that you are updated and you can catch all of our new updates and stuff that we're talking about. Today we're going to talk about the Honda 250 and the 2. And we did a video on the Honda CRF250L, and we also did a video on the Honda CRF250 Rally. And between those two bikes, and really what is the better bike between the two, and you get mixed feelings between a lot of riders with that bike. And you know, I think they're really two different flavors of motorcycles. The 250L is pretty much, in my opinion, the true dirt bike. It's truly the dirt bike of the two, and the Rally it's kind of a dressed up 250L with the Rally fairings and the Rally plastics and the Rally kit and all that stuff. And it's a great looking bike. It looks good. It's pretty. It's legit looking. At the end of the day, it's more of a street bike, to be quite honest with you. It's a great bike. At the end of the day, it's a great bike. I got to test ride it. I got to ride it. A buddy of mine, his son, Zane, has a 250 Rally, and I got to take it out, and I got to ride it for about 30, 45 minutes and kind of put it through. I didn't get to put it through the ringer, but I did get to go test it and see how the bike performed a little bit, you know, on the street and not really off-road. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to figure out how a bike is going to do off-road versus on the road. If it performs on the road, you know, pretty good, it's, you know, I mean, you can just tell. I mean, if you've been riding long enough, you can pretty much tell how a bike's going to perform. The suspension was decent on it. It's pretty much the exact same suspension that's on the 250L. The rear suspension is, I think it's exactly the same. I think all the plastics and everything are kind of, I think it was a stretch for Honda. It gave it a new fresh look. It looked pretty cool. I do like the fairing in the front and the windscreen. I thought the light was pretty goofy looking. I didn't care for it a whole lot. The light did a pretty good job. It really did. It does a much better job than the 250L. But overall, it was really kind of goofy. But the instrument panel and everything was pretty decent on the Rally. I think it is a little bit nicer, I think, over the 250L. It's definitely heavier. You know, you can feel it, which that in turn makes it a better road bike. It has more weight to it. It's going to get it more planted to the tarmac. And you know, or the asphalt or the concrete or whatever you want to call it when you're riding, it's going to do a pretty good job. As far as horsepower and stuff, it's the same engine. Not much has changed there, but you can definitely feel it. It feels like it sits a little higher than the 250L, but but if you compare them straight up, they're roughly the same. I think the difference is the Rally has a little bit more clearance. It's still the same tire size, the 21 front and the 18 rear. Great bike. I mean, I'm not knocking it. You know, I catch a lot of crap from a lot of people thinking that I'm biased and that I'm just, I'm down in one bike for another bike and stuff like that. We have a CRF250L in the 690 garage. And am I biased to it? Not really. I mean, it's really a great bike. It's a lot of fun. I think it's set up better than the Rally, and I'm going to explain why. It's more of a dirt bike, and that's what I want. I want to get into that dirt. That's my thing. And I know you see the rant and rides, and you're like, oh man, all you do is run around and you do the street. Well, you got to understand, I have a day job. I have a business that I have to run. I have things I have to do. All of these things that you see, they come out of here. This comes out of my pocket. YouTube doesn't pay for it. iTunes doesn't pay for it on these podcasts. Google, I don't have sponsors. The misconception for sponsors is that, that just because you're endorsing something that you're getting paid for it. And that's not it. I'm not being paid for any of it. I've done some reviews on equipment and stuff. They gave me the equipment, but I wasn't paid for it. And you're like, well, you were given it for free. That's payment. And not really, because the amount of time that you put into it, it's really pennies on the dollar. So at the end of the day, the company that we do the review for really truly wins more than I win, because of the amount of time and hours that are put into the job. But anyway, that's not what this is about. The CRF250L, and why I feel that it's a better bike overall than the Rally, and I would own either bike. Because they're Hondas, and they're built on the same platform, and they are really fantastic bikes. The only reason I say is because the 250L, it's been around longer, it's more proven, and the Rally would have never happened without the 250L. And it's not like they just took that platform and just and blew it up and turned it into a completely different, utter, just beast machine. That did not happen. What they did is they took the 250L and they added some Rally parts to give it a new flashy look, to make it look like a Dakar bike, because the Dakar stuff is really cool and the Rally bikes are just, they're eye-catching. Make no mistake. You can't go look at it and go, that's not a cool looking bike. And it's definitely got a little bit more of an eye appeal than the 250L. But is it a better bike? Not off-road, it's not. It's just not. The 250L is about 20 plus pounds lighter. It holds a little bit less gas. Rotopacks. It's, me, I'm a Rotopacks guy. You're going to get the range that you want, but, holding that extra gallon of gas, which basically puts me at more gas than the Rally, I'm still lighter. I'm still lighter than the Rally. The plastics are cheaper. There's more aftermarket parts for the 250L to bolt onto that bike to get it to what I really, really want. I like that Rally look. I wish they would have put a different engine in there. And maybe punched it up or uncorked it, but I get it. I get the emissions and stuff like that. But, my 250L against a Rally, it's not even a fair fight. I mean, my 250L, now granted, I do have aftermarket parts on there, and that's what makes it what it is. But at the end of the day, you're not buying a bike stock just so that you can look at it and ride it. You're going to do your aftermarket work to it to make it your bike. It'll smoke the Rally. My 250L will smoke the Rally. But it's what I did to that bike. Am I going to go into detail of what I did? No, that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is about what is better about the two. The end game or the end reasoning is the 250L is lighter. It is built on the same deal, and with the amount of horsepower in the same engine that's in there, the 250L is just going to produce a little bit more because it's going to be lighter. It's going to be 20 pounds. I mean, it's like basically the difference of, putting on a backpack, on your back versus not having a backpack. I mean, kind of a big deal. Off-road, I just think that it just rides better. I've ridden both. It's not like, I just made this up and it's like, oh, well, I own a 250L and I just said, it's better than the Rally. No, I've ridden the Rally and and I own a 250L. But here's the deal. You win either way. You can buy either bike and it's going to be awesome. But if I was going to go and buy the bike, I would really weigh out my options and what I really want. Do I want more street and a little less dirt, or do I want more dirt and a little less street? And that will determine which bike. More dirt, L. More street, Rally. If you're into aftermarket parts, L. If you're not, Rally. If you want basically based on looks and having the appeal of it looking, legit crazy, Rally. If you just want a dirt looking bike, L. I mean, it's pretty simple. It ain't rocket science. The difference is also in price. The Rally hasn't been around for a very long time. There's a lot more L's out in the market. The L is proven, it's bulletproof. The Rally is going to be bulletproof from the get-go just because it gets to share the same engine as the 250L. But overall, there's just more parts and add-on gear and stuff like that you can do with the 250L, and it's about $1,000 cheaper if you want to go buy one new. And Honda's not going to get rid of the L. It's not going to happen. They're going to keep doing the Rally, but they are not going to get rid of the L. It's kind of their bread and butter in the 250 range. It's proven, and it is their bike. I mean, it would be stupid to get rid of that and do the Rally, because the Rally, you're going to upset quite a few riders, because the Rally is not that off-road bike that you think it might be just based off of the look. It looks like a beast off-road, and it is not. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that bike. But if you're on the road, it's going to be fantastic. So, between the two bikes, what's the better bike? Both. That's my opinion. Both bikes are the better bike. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. It all, like I always say, it comes down to the rider. The rider is really going to dictate how great a bike is. A great rider can take a okay bike and just flat out romp, and you can get an intermediate rider on a fantastic bike and it's not going to be any better than what you do. But if you get that experienced rider on a super incredible motorcycle, get back. He's going to get crazy on it. So that's really what it boils down to, is knowing what your experience level is, and then buying the bike based around what your experience level is, and between these two bikes. So if you have more off-road experience and that's what you want, I would say get the 250L, the CRF. And if you have intermediate and you really are just a street rider, but you want to do a little bit of dirt, man, get the L. I think, you win either way. And the thing is it's not like the CRF250L is not going to do a great job on the road. It does a great job on the road. It really, really does. I would say this, that if I had to say that there's one upgrade that is a smart one, and I haven't done it yet, which I'm going to do, maybe a steering damper for the CRF250L, because when it does get up around 70, it does get a little squiggly, a little wobble. It's not horrible, but man, I put one on my 690R. It's so nice, man. Those things are so nice, those dampers. They take everything out. They make the bike so much more true, and they make it so much more enjoyable to ride. So steering dampers are something you definitely might want to look into if you're buying a new bike. If you can afford one. If you can find the aftermarket, you could find like the Chinese aftermarket ones. Like I put in my 690R, which I love, and it was fantastic, and I saved about $400, and we'll get into that in a different podcast. I know I always say that, but we can't do a podcast every day. But the steering dampers are awesome. They are so awesome. So, but yeah, between the two bikes, that's really what you need to weigh out. What's your experience level, and what do you plan on doing it? Do you want to commute around town? Do you want to get out and trail ride a bunch? Because the bikes are both made to get from point A to point B and then do what you want to do. that just the CRF250L is going to do a better job. Period. I don't care what anyone says. It's going to do a much, much better job off-road. It just because of the way it's set up to be a better off-road bike. But the Rally, make no mistake, will do a great job, and it will do a good, it'll do a good job off-road. It's just not going to be as good. And then vice versa. The Rally is going to do a marvelous job on the road, and the CRF250L is going to do a good job. It's just not going to be as good. So if you're looking for a bike to get into dual sporting, and you're a novice rider or an intermediate, even an experienced rider, and you're looking for a 250 that's really, really super fun, look at these Honda bikes. Look at the Rallies and look at the 250L and weigh it out. And if you're budget conscious, guess what? The 250L is going to always be about $1,000 cheaper because it's an older bike. There's more of them in the marketplace, and they're going to be a little bit easier to find. Now, you might find that diamond in the rough and get lucky, but the odds are you're probably going to end up paying a little more for the CRF250 Rally over the CRF250L. Now, that being said, hey, either bike, you win. Don't forget, subscribe to our podcast. Make sure that you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/690ADV. Also, don't forget about our website, 690ADV.com. Go sign up. Be part of that too. We have decal giveaways, which we're still working on right now, but that is fixing to come to a close for a little while. So if you're not in, might want to get in if you want a free decal. But other than that, just be part of it. Be part of the 690 and help in all you can if you're an experienced rider, because it's really fantastic having experienced riders out there giving information and helping other riders out by giving great quality information in the comments, like already happens right now on the 690 ADV. It's awesome, and I appreciate it, and I can't thank everybody so much. But anyway, my name's Joe, Radio 690 ADV. Thanks for stopping in. And this is the CRF250L / the CRF250 Rally, and a little bit about those two bikes and what makes either one of them better than the other. And at the end of the day, they're both fantastic bikes, and you win either way. Joe, Radio 690 ADV. Thanks for stopping in. You guys have a fantastic day. And I'll tell you what, go find your adventure. 690 out.